So we are back, and we just completed number 3, angle cylinder, and we saved a preset for it, which is cool. So that means we can move on to the next object. So I'm going to just, in object mode, with the insolve icon, I'm just going to press D and open the loader, and we're just going to open up the next one, which is angle slide. And angle slide is a bit of a pain in the neck, but let us go ahead and create a config for it and then try to solve it just a little bit faster. So I'm going to just Control A, Visual Geometry to Mesh, and that's going to do my favorite thing, which is cover the geometry in a bunch of marked garbage. And then I have to add an Auto Smooth modifier, and it's going to add 2 of them because of something related to my preferences, which I just, it doesn't matter, but I am aware of it. I just need to clean up my preferences, and, you know, obviously, who wants to do that? So we're going to load up our vidconfig.ntx. That's a bit of a tongue twister, but it's still early in the morning. I haven't had any coffee. I had a Red Bull at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and now it's 7 in the morning. Had a motivational talk with party members expressing the current state. So now we are on 04 angle slide, and from here we have everything selected, and I want to have alt is just dissolve. And you'll see this as a pattern that I use over in Insolve too, that I'm just always using Alt as my dissolve because, you know, I'm actually figuring out the pipeline for creating presets, like kind of in real time as we've been going through solving, because I know that I want to make dedicated presets for this tool to release it, but I also know I want to record the process so I can show it. So that way I have a video about how to make God, this shading is so terrible. Let's open up the hops helper and just remove the auto normals, because I applied all those modifiers and weighted normals in there. You know, I don't think I saw it, but I saw it. You know, it was terrible. So, you know, at this point, we could use the configuration I had in the last video, where I had the ability to select a loop on, it looks like, left mouse click. And so now we were able to select a loop. So let's jump over to preset 4, and we're just going to add a new one. And for this one, we're just going to have general click be, let's go with select, and we're just going to go with insolve select loop. And we'll just click, and that one's crazy. So let's dial it back by playing with the F9. And when the F9 hits just right, it's just right, you know. And just like that, we have our selection. So let's pretend that we want to expand on that. So I'm going to duplicate that behavior, and on shift we are going to bevel. So we're just going to bevel, mesh bevel. And I know you're watching this and you're like, why would you do this? Why wouldn't you just do the thing? It's like, well, we're making a machine to do the thing, and then we're going to do that thing faster and faster and faster and configure it to be better and better and better. Except I don't have that kind of time, and you don't have that kind of time. You don't want to watch me do that forever. I'm willing to do that forever, but you don't want to see me do that. So now if I hold shift, click and drag, we're dragging it out. If I press P, we can adjust that profile, set it to 1, but we want to actually make sure that we have that set up inside the operator argument. So just like before, maybe not operator, that one's the wrong one. We want to set our profile to 1. We want to set our segments to 2, and then click OK. And there we go. And just like that, we have that set up. So I was looking at this and I was thinking, like, man, I've done this same thing like 4 times, and I've done a different setup for it every time, and the way that I'm doing it now isn't actually even the best way. The purpose of these files is to discover what is the most optimal way to do it, and then how can we automate that to be faster and faster and faster until eventually we're as fast as the machines. Except we won't be fast as the machines. The machines will replace us. I mean, look, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be realistic here. The machines are gonna destroy us. They're machines. I've watched all the Terminator movies. Even though they suck after the second one, the Terminators still win. Like, and the Terminators be sucking. It's like, man, how do they win? You know, I think there's like a YouTuber who did like stupidest villains, and this week it was about Skynet. And I was like, Ashley, we have to watch this right now. He's talking about Skynet, the stupidest corporation, because they took over the world and they still failed. You know, how stupid can you be to do that? Uh-oh. Talking about myself. Just kidding. So maybe something like that. We're just really just framing it. And, you know, we don't even need hard loop anymore. So we can just kind of just put that on hiatus for a moment. But we do want to select again. And then we can try pulling that out again. And just know that it feels good to do that. Just on me. Just, you know, maybe other people might disagree. They might be like, yo, you create a heretical thing. So I am going to just kind of take the knife. And we're just going to cut to, I don't know. Here we go. And we'll just dissolve that. You know, if we have the opportunity, might as well. I'm just trying to set limits on this because, I mean, it's getting wild over here. And, I mean, you know, what if we just didn't have this super nearby edge? You know, I'm willing to negotiate for this particular edge, you know, and what it offers. I mean, we also need connect. Always connect. And, you know, we're just going to choose, what is this thing called? This thing's called connect. I don't think I've ever found it by name. So we're going to try vert connect. And we're going to set this to be, well, override after. And what that means is I can just drag here and it's done. So if I dissolve that, we're set up like so. And, you know, let's say we hypothetically put a loop here and we connected it. And that's what we're looking at, right? So we're just going to jump out for just a moment. Because the art is jumping in and out. That's why it's called nFlow. Because you're jumping in and out. You're just flowing in and out. Just in and out. In and out. You know, you're not supposed to stay in the tool forever. You know, you're like, hey, I can't select. I can't do it. Well, jump right out. Jump right out. Do what you got to do. Use your configuration. Do what you got to do. Flow right back in. Flow right out. Flow right back in. Like, Blender's getting weird. So we have to think a little differently now. So you got to just flow. So here we go. We're just going to do a project loop. And are we able to just use that on edge? Just kidding. I know I'm like using edge so much, like in multiple cases. And almost want to set this up on right click. So that way I can try doing stuff with this. Oh, you know what it is? Sorry. I'm totally spacing out because it's early in the morning. But we just want to... Sorry. I apologize. It's been a long night. It's so long of a night, and you would not believe my night and how weird nights get with me. They're just never normal. That's all I'm saying. So maybe something like that. Just to start, okay? We're just saying, we're just starting a party. I'm just being a little random this time compared to all the other times. And for this experiment, we are going to just try a different solution because, you know, I've solved it. I'm telling you, I've solved it so many times. And, you know, usually I go through a somewhat rehearsed routine because why not rehearse something to ensure that I demonstrate it properly? That's the goal, is to demonstrate it properly, to put on a good show. So let us just go back into nFlow, right back in. And we'll just bring this out like so. And so far, so good. And really all we're trying to do is just assist this kind of painful flow that doesn't really want to exist. So maybe even something big like that. Maybe we'll take care of this one. But, you know, if you've watched my content, you know that I'm all about overshooting things and fixing them just to study the disaster. So, you know, if you're laughing at the mistakes happening, then you're completely unfamiliar with my content because I'm laughing at them existing. I'm like, aha, another problem to mitigate. You know, like it's like a puzzle game to me. I mean, I'm not saying I want to do this as a job. I want to be solving people's problems, but I do find that there is a joy in seeing a good result well done, and that result sometimes comes at costs that are physical, and I never want to stop. I only just want to do it faster, easier. You know, I've been ranting about something called the claw, which is like basically the hand gesture I make when I use the computer. So right here, we're just going to flow right out. Because, I mean, God, we did stuff to select that I don't want to talk about. So here, we are going back to Project Loop. And Project Loop is set to left mouse click. So we'll just click and drag, press, let's see, I believe it's W. I'm telling you, I rant about the fact that I have to press W and think about it every time. I hate, if anyone who knows me knows that I do not like having to think. Like, I mean, when it comes to modeling, I mean also in life, but if I don't have to think when it comes to a model, then that's more time I can think about other stuff, like terrible messages I receive. And hate mail, but I call it fan mail. I'm like, hey man, you're totally gonna get fan mail. They're like, oh dude, I can't wait to get fan mail. I'm like, no dude, no, you don't want fan mail. I mean, fan mail is left in a comment where they're like, dude, that's awesome, I love it. Fan mail, I don't even want to quote it, because people will quote it to me. They'll start saying it to me. I'll start here, see, your worst nightmares in your inbox. You know, that's the world we live in with AI. I mean, I'm just over here dissolving. What do you want me to say? You want me to say that I'm pressing Alt? I'm pressing Alt a bunch? It doesn't matter. I'm just flowing. Just making a config. And right here, you know, I see that we're going to have to make a base insolve. And we're going to just be recalling insolve inside of this because it's just necessary. Also, I forgot to mention which one I wanted. Bam. Sorry to use mobster talk, but bada bing, bada boom, you know. And I'm not even I'm not even Italian. I'm joking, of course. Sorry. You never know it's racially insensitive now. I'm just having fun. I'd be watching movies, and then when you quote a movie, next thing you know, you tore someone's heart out. It's like, I had no idea. And you see me pressing Control R, and Control R is just such a... I mean, I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm not saying I'm better than Control R. I'm just saying, like, I've pressed a lot of Control R, and, you know, sometimes I just need to I just need to scan. I just need to see, like, how's my flow doing? Like, how is it? Is it flowing? And, I mean, right now, the flow checker is just like, this is like level 1. Because I just sound like a crazy guy when I talk about stuff. They're like, oh, he's ranting again. But, when this is perfect, I mean, it's such a start, and it's so crazy because I have to watch everything I say because it's always a risk of being offensive, either directly or indirectly or accidentally, or it's microaggressions are very real. All right, so is this flow happening or not? What is going on here? All right, let's go back in there again and try that again. So for some reason this isn't breaking, so I'm going to capture a GIF of it because, you know, these sort of things just don't make sense to me. Like, if this is set, and this is set, and that is set, and that is set, and we press W and we exit out, then what is going on there? Why is that not merging? So you know, I actually want to, I think we took this out of nSolve. So let's jump into this, press D, jump over to nSolve, and we're just going to set ourselves with collapse on control. And let's just take a look at this thing. Alright, so for some reason collapse isn't merging that. And so that makes this thing a curiosity. So we're just going to save this in the power save directory as angle slide. And from here, I'm going to pause and just think about this for a moment. Alright, back to business. And by business, I mean selecting everything, pressing right click and choosing to remove by distance, and that will clean up some vertices, and we'll jump right back into nFlow like boxers in a ring. And with a little bit of control, we're able to see our flow going all the way around, which indicates, well, look at me thinking I won. You know, Topo's never that easy of a game to win. So I'm just looking at where the flow is going, and now let us get in here and begin dealing with it. So, uh-oh. And still just looking at this, thinking about it, trying to think on my feet here. You know what really is a problem here is I need to press W, exit, grab every other loop, and literally just get rid of it. Like, I mean, you know, I would get rid of these, but I wouldn't get rid of that one, you know, just because that one is part of the form. But I mean, our goal is to subdivide it at the end. Just having a little fun here, just thinking of possibilities. But you know, the more it skews going upstairs, the more I want to mitigate it early. And by mitigate it early, I mean maybe something like what you're seeing now, where I'm just trying to deal with it. I mean, I had to press K there, but that's fine. And we'll just dissolve that. And we almost have the connection made. And it's just over here. And there's our flow, making it all the way around. After much battling. You know, is it perfect? No. Can it be perfect? No. Is it going to look perfect? No. Just kidding. I'm sorry. I'm low T. That's why I can't be a Blender bro. I just don't have the testosterone for it. So from here, I am just going to jump back into nSolve. So that is through, let's see, almost for a split moment, I forget how to jump there. Because I always want a path there, even if it's like there's multiple ways. So I mean, inside of nSolve, join has the ability to do multi-join like you're seeing here, where it's able to join multiple things at once, which can really come in handy for just solving these corner areas. But over in nFlow, in order for us to use it, we would need to add its argument to it under the vert connect. And I mean, we can. Let's see. Wait, who's okay? It's you know, we actually got to jump over to the scripting window and see what we just used. So, you know, it was a join verts with multi on. So we put that there. And, you know, first we have to set its arguments up, of course, because if we don't tell it to basically add it, then it won't. And now we are good to go. In fact, for this to make it really feel organic, we could turn off after. And then we're able to kind of use it in a more organic way. In fact, this is the one we're connected to, so now it feels just like it does over in nSolve. So just in case you need that. So continuing on with this, I'm also wanting to kind of do a little cleanup. You know, some of these areas really just need to Alright, and I'm just goofing off here, just kind of just looking at it and thinking. Sorry, I just zone out a little bit sometimes when I'm thinking about solutions, so I'm just looking at it thinking, so right here, clicking would actually be more beneficial at this point if I turned off project loop, which I know. I'm turning things off to make things work, so now it's a switch tool. We probably just want to add a behavior where whenever we click on loop, we are dealing with loop. So maybe loop cut and slide, just because we're getting a little specific at this time. So, you know, bada bing, bada boom. And of course, for your needs, the viewer, you know, you might need something a lot simpler to happen as far as your configuration goes. Maybe even using vanilla. Not ever trying to tell people not to use vanilla. You know, my pitch is strong, but, you know, not that strong. So, continuing on, we will just, and I see that multi is still on. It like kind of tricks you because multi is basically useless. All right, I'm over here hyping it up, but I mean the thing about multi is, and that's collapse. What we're talking about is multi, and I debate on having these actually have like playful names or like names that we actually give it ourselves, but really it should probably just be accurate. So here we're looking at join, and we just want to go in and turn multi off because it's working against us. And from here, and you know, also for this, we maybe also want to override the selection, so that way whenever we do it, it does it like so, and just undoes the selection. So that way it's just a lot simpler. I mean, I don't know, maybe the multi works. I just don't trust certain things in Blender. Some things are just too good to be true, you know. You just never know if it's going to work out. So you just got to really just watch out. So from here, I think that we are going to want to basically slide this over here and merge this, and also slide right back into our boy. You know, we never stop. You know, and I'm telling you, once I fully acclimate and there's no more people pressuring me, I can already tell. It's already that, it feels that great. I just love it. You know, this month is actually my birthday, so happy birthday to me, courtesy of nFlow. Just kidding, but you know, I didn't even think of the birthday event situation that could be part of this. Like, hey, celebrate a birthday with me. Solving geometry. What do you want to do for my birthday? You want to go out? No. I want to solve geometry with that boy MX2. Just kidding. I'm just making jokes over here. I mean, what can I do while I'm solving? Tell you I'm pressing G? Get out of here. You know, I have to come up with a name for the people who require I tell people I'm pressing G. I mean, I'm talking smack, but I mean, who knows? There are also the people who watch the content enough to say, hey, you need to tell me you're pressing G. Well, first of all, I ain't pressing G. I ain't pressing nothing. Waving my hands like an Italian grandmother. That's my thing now. I'm like an Italian grandmother in 3D. Alright, I'm just looking at Geo, thinking about how this could be and how it should be. So this area is going to solve into a try, and then we have a try here, which we could solve like so, making it a quad, and then that's a whole quad. So I mean, these are flows. I mean, they're not flows I like, but I mean, kind of better flows than some of the previous ones, to be honest. I solved this really in a way that works with subdivision. And I pressed Control R. So for a moment, I thought I was going to crash Blender by doing heresy to the custom loop cut. But it looks like they work together. So just a testament to its greatness. Like me, I've really reconnected that, you know, there's one thing in life I love. Just a well done tool. Just show me a tool that's good. Just a good old... And that's my goal, is to make them good tools, you know. The goodest tools, you know. Maybe. I don't know, competition is fierce out there. So, and, you know, one never wants to be full of themselves. One never wants to be full of themselves. Just kidding. So I'm going to right click, and that's going to select the right edge magically, because sometimes the tools work out, and when it does, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so happy. You know, I'm like bipolar, but I'm as bipolar as Blender is. And I mean, Blender, I guess, is pretty flippy. All right, so I guess I flip a lot, because I'm like, hey, my entire panel just crashed, like, you know, so therefore my entire panel has crashed. Just kidding. I'll stop making these jokes before I get too real with people. Never trying to attract mental people. All right, so there's like a lot of loops over there, right there. So I'm just looking at it thinking, dang, how did I let that get so high over there? And I keep pressing Control R, and it's because I'm using this loop cut, and this loop cut is from the retopo part, which I haven't even gotten to talk about yet, and I don't even know if I want to deal with this time. But this thing has exhausted me so much that I just look forward to just seeing everybody just reject it, which sounds very weird, but, you know, I've like painted this scenario with the team. I'm like, listen, the worst thing that could happen is everybody falls in love with this thing, and they're like, hey, we are customers. Like, oh, dang it. They know how it is. They know that I try to do what I say, and what I'm saying is I'm gonna make mesh translation fun. Very weird fill, very niche, you know, probably gonna be automated by AI. You know, and people ask a lot, like, they're like, yo, where's that AI remesher? I'm like, well, basically what it's only gonna take like 5 minutes for AI to say, hey, there's a human there's a human at this computer. You know, that's why your render sucks. There's a human here. They're gonna throw you the hell out. Better stop playing around with these machines, boy. So let's look and see where we got around the corner. But I say that, but I am an AI lover. You know, I'm listening to AI music right now. It's so great. And, you know, these solutions I'm offering, I don't like any of this. So, I mean, I don't like how dense that is. I don't like how this is so many loops for like a small area. You know, get this out of here, please. And let's select these. There we go. I'm trying to select loops. I mean, I don't know why things are playing with my brain. I mean, I guess I have to delete these just to get at these. And you know what? I'll let those live just for now. But I mean, our goal is obviously to just solve this shape. I mean, maybe to even solve it in what I call in style, which is something I still debate with internally quite a bit. They're like, what does that even mean? I'm like, well, 3D doesn't have to suck. I mean, I get it. Y'all, everybody in the world feels like it should be a funeral, like, to do 3D, and I'm like, why? You know, we'll never get people jumping over to 3D with this attitude. So I just foresee a world where 3D is just a little bit more interesting. I mean, that's my new dream now. I think before it was making modeling more interesting, or modeling more arcade-like, and I still like that goal too. That goal is still what I would call Q. And here I am using Control R, just misusing it. We're just solving this shape. In fact, I have lost the plot in a little bit. Now I'll be used as an example of what not to do when it comes to solving a mesh. Dang it. You ever have that happen to you? You end up a documentary course because you goofed up so bad. You know, I'm just going to add another behavior, and for this one we're just going to put in analyze, and we're just not going to talk about I didn't mean to type it in all caps. All caps makes it really loud and really obvious. Can I make any jokes anymore? Because I was told I can't make any jokes at all. Like, I was told I gotta stop making all the jokes. Like, I read all my jokes by someone, and they said, oh, no, you shouldn't say none of those. I was like, none of them? Just terrible. I mean, once you're so deep in a video, you gotta just go for it, you know? Alright, so we're just looking at some tries. We're looking at a few unsolved mysteries. And I mean, we don't even have to do all this. Like, really, I mean, in the hops content, I'm sure I've shown like 800 times that you can just use like triangulate and stuff to get this to solve very easily. I mean, you know, the whole rule of you just got to apply one level of subdivision still applies. Like, once you get one level of subdivision to survive, the mesh is perfect. I mean, not perfect. The mesh is, I wouldn't send it to a client, all right? You look, that's not that sort of, I'm not giving you industry advice, all right? I'm just saying the mesh is in a better situation than it was when it was covered in Ngons, okay? I'm not saying to ever send that to a client, all right? In fact, if you sent that to me, I'm gonna send you some videos I did about topology, okay? Also, I might also cancel on you. Alright. I mean, we're just redefining our solution as we're working. I mean, really the solution is just that. And I mean, when analyze works, it's like, boop, goodbye analyze. And we don't need it no more. I mean, it's still waiting for me. And I do love that. I mean, and the text has been the same this whole time. I've even mentioned that we can adjust the spacing in the drop down, like to make it look more like a book report, because I love the reminder text. I need it because the end panel is not going to be a thing. This is how I plan to work. I plan to work like this, where I just have only the object that I'm beating up, and I just have the UI telling me what I'm doing, and maybe we'll just alt scroll, jump through my configurations at the speed of light. And I mean, the configuration gets even better because we can filter it a certain way based on your key press to remind you about specific things on a filtered level. And this is just level 1 of the reminder system that we're displaying right here. Like, it's not, it doesn't have style. It doesn't have style because people aren't ready for me to rant about style and what it means to actually look proper. And anyway, sorry, I'm ranting again. Sorry, gotta stop ranting. We will get back to work, and we'll just display with only one auto smooth. Sorry, my auto smooth is just gonna keep going nuts for the rest of the demo, but you know, sometimes you just gotta live with such things. But really, just like that, we solved this thing. Like, we solved the heck out of it. What's this thing called? For angle slide. So the angle slide configuration is a go-go, and I would solve it twice, but you know, like I said, these videos are starting to get a little lengthy. So let me pause and find my configuration directory. Alright, so from here we just want to export our configuration, and I will just jump here and we'll just update our vid config. So now our vid config is here. So let's say hypothetically we wanted to, and this one's actually saved in the power save directory, so I'll just save that just so I have it, because we were discussing an issue that happened earlier in this area of the mesh, in case you're curious. no issues are permitted. Like, issues should not happen. I mean, it shouldn't happen, at least in a demonstration. Like, come on. It's like selling a car. You sell a car, you have issues with the car. So, you know, perfection must be obtained. And people are often like, hey, do you test stuff on the way? I was like, of course I test it. I test it on the way in. I test it on the way around. I test it on the way out my head. Test it on the way to conveying it to someone. Hopefully I can. But anyways, continuing on, we'll just save this mesh. And we'll just go down, press D, and we'll open up angle slide. And we look at the shape that we were fighting. And we survived this shape. This shape is literally terrible. Like, these shapes are not meant to be easy. I mean, of course, we can just put it through quad remesher. No doubt. I mean, and there's always quad remesher. There's always quad remesher. I mean, I have quad remesher. Even despite trying to make a mesher, I still have quad remesher. Because quad remesher is quad remesher. The guy doesn't care. He just made it and left and went to heaven like Goku. But, you know, also, dang, quad remesher. All right, so quad remesher isn't like in the mood right now. So I did not do this by design. All right, we could even wait on it, but the video is kind of burning, and I got a lot of other things. I got other meshes I gotta get to. Oh, look, here it is, and there I am. Remesh, baby, remesh. Sorry, I was talking smack, baby, but I'm sorry, remesher. I'm sorry. I love you, baby. I love you. You're back. All right, let's look at how straight it got this though. All right, so I mean, how into getting that perfect are you? For me, I will yell and argue and threaten to murder people over that not being perfect, okay? And same with this. Like, I'm sorry, I got problems. I just, and I need this to work at like 20% of this. So I need this to like work at like, in fact, let's undo it. And we set this to like 250. Me personally, I need 250 to work. I need 250 to work, and I need 250 to shine. I need 250 to be the default. And look at me just taking a side break to talk about remesher. Don't even be talking about meshers. Let me just end this video, and we'll move to the next one.